Hi everyone, Katie from Chords Records. Welcome back. My favourite albums, or the best albums of 2024, ranked. Here they are. Now this is my opinion. These are the albums that I think were the best of 2024 from what I was exposed to, what I purchased. And I think you'll agree with some of them. Some of them you may not have heard of, so stick around. I thought 2024 was a great year for music, except I wish there'd been more bands. What do you think? Anyway, okay. So I have done 17 albums just because that's kind of where it came to. So I'm going to count down from 17 to number one. The first one is Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft. Now don't stop watching now just because of that. I know this is a little bit of an outlier. It's a bit weird for me to be doing this, but there's only two kind of that bedroom pop type albums on this list. I thought this was a really stunning album, and I know a lot of the more kind of vinyl community, high fidelity type people weren't huge fans because of the quality of the vinyl. It's bio vinyl. Billie Eilish is very much into environmental stuff, and it didn't sound great. The actual music is absolutely stunning. I thought Billy and Phineas did such an amazing job in the production of this album, and so that is my number 17. I love it. Okay, number 16. This is one of two sort of jazzy type albums on my list. Most of these I've left jazz off. That can come in another list, but this is the recently released Jon Batiste Beethoven Blues. This hit their number one alternative classical charts in America. Beautiful album if you haven't heard it. It is Jon Batiste doing bluesy interpretations of Beethoven's music, Moonlight Sonata, the Seventh Symphony, Fleur de Lis, Fifth Symphony, etc., etc. It's just beautiful. I absolutely love this album. I was lucky enough to get a day one order, and so I got this beautiful signed card from him. So that's my number 16. Number 15 is one of the first Americana albums from this year, A Deeper Well by Kacey Musgraves, nominated for a Grammy. This is my alternative cover album, and look at that beautiful lush forest. Beautiful Nashville Americana artist. If you don't know her, this was released on Interscope, and the vinyl is a clear vinyl. Absolutely beautiful music. This is a kind of a mellow breaking up kind of album, I guess. Really beautiful. It's not rocking kind of Americana. It's classic Kacey Musgraves, but just beautiful songwriting. So that's my number 15. And then for my second jazz aligned album is the Jacob Collier De Jesse number 4, the fourth in the series of the De Jesse albums. Gatefold, beautiful album. There he is. He's a multi-instrumentalist. You probably know him. I think he is just one of the best musicians living today. He's an absolute genius. And this album has got a heap of guest stars on it, from Lizzie McAlpine, John Legend, Tori Kelly, Michael McDonald, Brandy Carlisle, his mum, Susie Collier. It's just beautiful. Highly recommend this album. Okay, so number 13 is my first Australian album. This is Human by Ziggy Rimo. This is a political album through and through. It was released on Impressed Records, a little Australian label that started a year ago, numbered Obi Strip to 200. This album is just a masterpiece of awareness. So he's Aboriginal, and it's all about First Nations people being here for 40,000 years, and a lie that has been killing us since 1788 when Australia was declared a nation. Obviously, there's a huge amount of regret and sorry of the Australian people and our actions towards the Aboriginal people. This album is all about that. It is stunning. It's soul, hip hop. If you like hip hop and modern hip hop and Australian hip hop, this is just brilliant. Rap. It's just fantastic. So Human is number 13 on my list. Number 12 is A Dream Is All We Know by the Lemon Twigs. Fantastic siblings out of New York, I think. Very 70s, incredibly. It harks back to kind of harmonies and almost surf music, early 70s music. It's just beautiful to listen to. It needs to be listened to on a really good stereo. It really shines when you're listening to it on a great hi-fi system. I got the issue with the flexi disc, the classic 70s single format, and on Coral, I think it's Coral vinyl. What do they say here? Limited Candy Floss vinyl, classic 70s. Look at them, aren't they gorgeous? This is such a great album. Okay, number 11. Is the only album I actually haven't received yet. So I have ordered it. It only came out on Black Friday, but the actual album itself came out earlier this year. And this is Vera by the Hansroth Twins, another siblings, so very similar to these guys. This one is the Hansroth Twins, this is the side project of the Brandi Carlile Band. So the two men that kind of flank her as part of the trio, the Tim and Phil Hansroth, and this harks back to Simon and Garfunkel. This is beautiful harmonies, dreamy pop music, and I highly recommend this album. If you don't know it, have a listen. It's gorgeous, and put it on repeat. It will grow on you. So that's Vera by the Hansroth Twins. Okay, my next one is another Nashville singer, Joy Oladokun. She is a very, very smart artist. African-American. Actually, where's she from? I think she's from Nigeria, but raised in America. Her parents are Nigerian. And this album is so smart. She does suffer, I think, from anxiety and mental health issues. And the album and the songs and the lyrics talk to that a lot. This is Observations from a Crowded Room. It is so beautiful. And her voice is just so... it just flows over you, washes over you. The music is gorgeous. It very much comes from very much from her kind of point of view. It's a very personal album. I highly recommend this album. Look at that beautiful cover of that kind of clay mask of her face, and all these different ones inside. The back is on this clay. It's just gorgeous. So that's Joy Oladokun, Observations from a Crowded Room. Okay, number 9 is, as I said at the top of this video, the only other bedroom pop, but it's almost not bedroom pop. She's kind of better than that. And I hope you know what I mean by that. Lizzie McAlpine, Older. I saw her live in Sydney this year. She's just so beautiful. Her lyrics are quite, they're very dark humour. So there's dig deeper than you normally would with just kind of that lush pop music. She is a very intelligent songwriter. I think when she went to Berklee School of Music, really talented songwriter and musician, plays guitar. They're very kind of lush, slow songs. But Lizzie McAlpine, Older, was in my Spotify Wrapped, actually, is one of my top 5 artists that I listened to when I was out in the car and stuff. I love this album. So this one has made it to my number 9. Okay, number 8 was actually... I was tempted to put it higher, but I probably don't listen to it as much as... sort of a higher position deserves, but I just absolutely love this album. If you've seen my video, I'll drop a link below. I talk about this one and another one coming up. This is Laurie Anderson's Amelia. This is the concept album around Amelia Earhart and the last flight she took around the world. And it's a full concept album about that journey, and there's all this kind of radio talk in between the tracks, and she speaks all the voices, has the music. Ahoni's on here. I got a signed kind of card in there. I was a day one orderer. Just beautiful. And this was released on my birthday on August 30th. I was very, very happy with this one. So this is my number 8. Number 7 is just one of my favorite artists, Saint Vincent, and this is All Born Screaming. What a brilliant album. Everything this woman puts out, Annie Clark, is brilliant. She is considered one of the great guitarists of the modern era. Her and Jack White are absolutely sensational. Her songwriting is brilliant. Her singing is brilliant. She's a performance artist. She's such an extraordinary creative that I think history is going to look back at this woman as one of the great artists of this century. So this latest album by her is brilliant. I absolutely love this album. It came in at number 7, All Born Screaming. Fun fact about this album, the creative director, Alex, what's her name? I might not be able to remember this. Alex Descartes. Let me see if I can get a quick look at it for you. No, I'm not going to be able to. Is also, we can Google that later, is also the same creative director as the next album. And this album is Kim Deal. This is a late arrival into my best of 2024. This is the the latest solo project by Kim Deal of originally of the Pixies and then the Breeders with her sister. This is unexpected. When you put this on and it's hard to know what to expect. You might expect that kind of rocky, punky kind of fun times of her voice, and it's orchestral, it's sweeping, it's almost harks back to Carole King or Brill Building 60s. The grooves are beautiful. It is just such a great album, and there's a beautiful song on here called Are You Mine? And I saw in an interview that it was based on a question her mum, who had dementia, and late in her journey with dementia, was coming down the corridor. Kim Deal was looking after her, and the woman didn't know who she was, but she looked at her and said, "Are you mine?" And that just touched me so beautifully. And I had a parent with dementia, and I completely know why that would inspire a song. So this album is beautiful. Look at that creative on there by the same person who did the All Born Screaming with St. Vincent. And when you look at the film clips for this, a lot of this is animated in CGI, and the flamingo comes to life. Absolutely brilliant album. Kim Deal. I would get this if I were you. So that is my number 6. Number 5, probably no surprise here, Songs of the Lost World by The Cure made it. This is my Blood Records heat activated cover and the glow-in-the-dark picture disc. A bit of fun, but the actual music is beautiful and morning and joyful and majestic and all the things. I love this album. It's classic Cure. They have not changed in all the years they've been going. Right. We're down to the last 4. Now, this one for a long time was at my top, but it's been usurped. But this is now at number 4. This is the great Australian New Zealand band Crowded House, have come back with a great album this year. Earlier in the year, I think it was February, Gravity Stairs. I loved this album. It was my top album for many, many months of the year. I love the fact, not unlike The Cure, that they only get better. And in this band, Neil Finn, his and 2 of his sons, Mitchell Froome. It's just a fantastic album, and highly recommend this. Number 4 of my top 24 ranked. Right, we're down to the bottom 3. So number 3 is, honestly, and these 3 could have swapped around, but this ended up at number 3 for me. Adrian Lenker, Bright Future. what can I say about this album? It's so brilliant. If you love Big Thief, obviously she's the singer from Big Thief. I've loved Big Thief for years. I love this album. This is a little bit more low key, kind of Americana, cowboy hat, kind of leaning. Still got her beautiful, beautiful vocals on here. Her lyrics are what really make this album. She is such a genius writer. This is such a great album. It's my number 3 of 2024. All right, my last 2. So this was touch and go, but what made number 2 was Wild God by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. What can be said that hasn't already been said about this brilliant album? He just can't go wrong in my eyes. But this album, when I first listened to it, it moved me to tears. It's joyful. It's a meditative, happy, beautiful, sweeping album that has got choral singers on it. It's just classic Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Nick Cave is a genius. Wild God, also released on my birthday, August 30th, with Laurie Anderson. I'll link the video below. Such a beautiful album. It's my number 2 album for 2024. So what is my number 1? Well, it's a late entry because I only received the vinyl last week, but it did come out a couple of months ago. And this is probably a bit of a surprise to many of you, but this is Zach Bryan's All Great American Bar Scene. I love this album. Some people don't. I think it's a bit polarizing. If you like Bruce Springsteen, in fact, there's a fantastic track where he duets on it. He duets on here with a homage to I'm on Fire, same kind of rhythm. Zach Bryan's kind of reinterpreted that song and they've done a duet together. But this is just beautiful. And I think, again, history will look really kindly on this album. I think this is I would call it a masterpiece. For me, it's a perfect album. It starts with a spoken word poem, which is just beautiful. It takes you immediately to the Wild West, to that kind of Cormac McCarthy novel, small towns, cowboys, motels, and the Great American Bar. And I just think this album, it's a double album, is just one that's going to live on my turntable for many, many years in a recurring fashion. Do you know it, and what do you think? I'd love to know what you think. I mean, I've read some reviews, and there are some like very esteemed reviewers who only give it like 6 or 7 out of 10. But for me, this is a 9.5 out of 10. I just love it. It's my number 1 album of 2024. So thanks very much for watching. I please comment below and tell me what you loved about these albums. If you liked them, I'd love to know what your number 1 album of 2024 is. Any unusual ones. And if you like this video, please, as always, like it and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.